So thank you to David and Emily for inviting me to be part of this webinar. What I'd like to do is provide a brief overview of photography in terms of where we are with the technology. We are living in times of accelerated technological change, as you'll be aware, with photographers from all sectors, as well as non-professionals, able to access equipment, image software, and systems or platforms for displaying these in more and more advanced ways. If we look at the quality of photographic equipment, we now have access to a full-frame Nikon, the D850, at 45.4 megapixels. That's a huge amount of detail in each photograph. And you can buy this for approximately £3,000, with other more expensive professional level cameras having their own unique offerings depending on the requirements of the photographer. Most prosumer and professional level cameras also now have 4K video recording capability. So if we look at a different type of technology, the mobile phones we carry in our pockets are providing more and more sophisticated photographic solutions. The Samsung S10 Plus, for example, has around 5 lenses designed to provide a variety of photographic options when you're not busy taking calls from your clients. These include the brand new, and that's brand new to Samsung, depth sensing technology, also seen on some Google phones. Depth sensing built into the mobile phone. This is incredible picture power in your pocket with, significant processing capability to boot. So it's worth having a look at some of these phones in terms of the capability they have and the quality. Let's take 360 photography as another example. We're getting closer to our key topics now. What began as QuickTime VR in 1995, when a photographer needed to take a series of individual photographs and stitch them together to form a single 360 image, that was capable of being viewed in QuickTime Player, has been transformed to an almost fully automated and very sophisticated set of tools where almost with one push of a button on a camera, the user can now create a walkthrough. This is where Matterport excel, and they're the world leader in walkthrough technology. So you can see their website at matterport.com. To mention other significant formats, there's also a greater access to consumer and commercial level 3D imaging, using cameras such as the Views XR all the way to Zcam K1 Pro. Both of these capable of high resolution images in 180 and 360, as well as video. Ideally, these are viewed using a headset such as an Oculus Rift, Oculus Go, HTC Vive, or Samsung Gear VR. And occasionally you can see these images in anaglyph as well, which is an old school red cyan glasses technique. Adding further variables to the mix, there are a range of software solutions, with the most popular being Adobe Photoshop for processing these images. This is part of the Creative Cloud collection, or it can be standalone with a 1-year subscription at around £120. There are other less well-known solutions such as PaintShop Pro, Paint.net, which is an online service, Sketch, Affinity Pro, Pixelmator Pro, etc. But Photoshop is the outstanding industry standard. So we now have our traditional 360, 3D anaglyphs, 3D side-by-side, 3D 180, 3D 360 imagery at our fingertips. So we've got options to create this at a relatively low cost compared to previous times. And this is in addition to formats such as high dynamic range techniques, where you're really capturing all the color depth in shadows and bright highlights. And of course, we now have the creation of 3D models for use within walkthroughs. So there's a huge amount of options when considering the type of format to display. If you're trying to promote real estate, if you're trying to promote commercial, there's a huge amount of options for promoting your images. Okay, so what do we mean by 3D in terms of walkthroughs and tours? As the title of this webinar ends with, and why you can't ignore 3D, we're inevitably going to lead you down to our own conclusions as to where at least some of your key focus should be. The purpose of 3D in the context of walkthroughs and its usefulness in architecture, real estate, construction, insurance, and more can be described most effectively through examples. That wow moment when you realize how far technology has come when you see one of these walkthroughs and what is now possible. What we can say with regards to 3D walkthrough technology is that we are at a point where we can deliver high quality images in 360 degrees and also map the environment pretty accurately by using 3D models to map these images onto. From a photographer's point of view, there are some key elements of these tours to consider. First, the ability to bring a series of photographs to life. Photographs 2D, they have their place, they've been used for many, many years. But with the power of 3D and walkthroughs, you're bringing a series of photographs to life in a more realistic way. It creates this wow factor. And Matterport have researched this area, indicating that listing properties with walkthroughs tend to quadruple the number of views and generate 49% more leads for real estate customers. It also provides the realistic transition and movement through an environment, which is created automatically. I mean, literally, you're collecting a series of scans, and the software, or software as a service, does all the processing for you and actually will align all of the scans into the correct places. So all of the heavy lifting, as people like to say, all of the hard work is done for you. In addition, the ability to output a series of high quality images from angles and a different field of view chosen after the capture provides a very high level of flexibility for the photographer and client. You can basically go back into the model and choose high quality images from locations and fields of view of your deciding. And that is a very, very powerful tool. It is also possible to connect virtual tours and walkthroughs to Google Maps and Google Street View automatically with very minor editing of orientation and to get accurate placement. This reduces the workload, yet increases the opportunity to provide more services to the client efficiently and effectively. Some services offer connectivity with automatic upload to real estate websites such as realtor.com and homes.com, which again saves a huge amount of time. Let's look at a few facts and figures related to walkthroughs. There's around 5 million people viewing walkthroughs across the world every day. There's a 40% increase in the number of visitors viewing a page that has a walkthrough on it. You can find that there's up to a 5 times increase on the amount of time spent on a walkthrough as opposed to standard photography or a text presentation. And now there's such a wide variety of platforms, including mobile, desktop, tablet, and even virtual reality headsets such as Samsung Gear VR for a completely immersive experience when you're viewing these walkthroughs. With these kind of statistics, there are clear advantages to providing walkthrough visualization. So let's pause for a moment again and look at this from my own perspective. I'm currently writing a book on Matterport technology called Matterport 3D Capture for All. It will be out later this year and explores a wide variety of topics, including the relatively new additions of Ricoh Theta and Insta360 1X 360 cameras to the list of compatible capture devices. And this book will include my own experimentation and exploration of the technology, the Matterport Pro 2, a professional camera, and in addition to this, a series of interviews with key people in the company and a variety of MSPs. My own photography clients include Airbus and Toyota manufacturing, and this has been a great connection for me to introduce those companies to Matterport and the possibilities it can offer as well. We've mentioned Matterport a few times now, but let's look at the company and their offering in more detail. Matterport was founded in 2011. There's over 1.5 million spaces created, with over 700 million views, created by over 4,000 real estate professionals in over 100 countries. Matterport have offices in Chicago, San Francisco, and London. As the mission statement on the website homepage indicates, Matterport makes capturing, creating, and distributing beautiful interactive 3D models easy and affordable. Their list of services is indicated as create an interactive 3D model with push-button simplicity and share across any connected device. And essentially that's the ability to capture spaces with minimal fuss. And in my own experience, this is absolutely true. You can create spaces by locating the camera in the place you want to scan and then hitting the capture button on the app. It's as simple as that for the most part. Capture HDR quality 2D photos that are perfect for online print with your Matterport Pro 2 camera. So the Matterport Pro 2 camera actually captures high dynamic range photographs. The system does all of this for you and automatically processes shadows and bright areas very, very effectively. Quickly and easily produce high quality scale drawings directly from a 3D model after a scan. So this is a service particularly suitable for architects or real estate agents, and yet again is a great time saver. With one scan, a Matterport camera provides 3D measurements of your space with 99% accuracy. Well, this is partly to do with the infrared sensors that are on the camera, but it really is a very accurate scan and provides an incredible walkthrough. Here are a couple of examples I'll be adding to the book. So here's the Airbus Visitors Centre at Broughton near Chester in England. What I'd like to do is just talk you through a few of the key aspects of a Matterport walkthrough. So as you can see, using the one of the mouse buttons, I can actually rotate the view, look around. What I can actually do is zoom right in and see the detail and actually read the text on some of these items. I can zoom right back out. So it's a great ability, first of all, to get a wide field of view and then zoom right into some of the detail at each of the scan points. So if I move around, and bearing in mind this is being, it's a webinar, so it may not be as smooth in terms of this video, but I would recommend that you go and have a look at a walkthrough online and see how smooth it is. If we start to walk through the model, you can actually see there's a really smooth transition. And bear in mind that usually these different modes down the side, this is actually in editing mode at the moment because I wanted to demonstrate a few things. You don't get the photos, videos, floor plan, etc. on the left. You can put this into full screen. So you're able to really get a sense from looking at your screen of how you would move through the building itself. Now what I've done here is lower the camera slightly so that you can get a clearer view of these models. You can zoom right into this Airbus A380 here. If we zoom out. Now at each point, at each scan point, you could zoom around, set up the camera angle in a way that you like, and then go into edit mode and actually take a snapshot. So if I take a snapshot now, it's saving the snapshot to disk on the system, and I'm actually able to go into photographs and I can download the photograph that I've just taken in high resolution format. So great for a photographer. In addition to this, if we have a look at some features whilst we're in this section, the system actually generates a small animation using the 3D model. So there's the photograph here. It will now zoom out to show you the 3D model, rotate round to show the accuracy of the model, and then move back in. And this can be used on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media as like a teaser for your walkthrough. And it's automatically generated. I didn't have to do any work to get that. For a small fee, you can actually download a floor plan. So it would give me a floor plan of the visitor's center and a matter pack, which is great for architects and engineers and construction professionals who may need to input 3D data or show the building, using a CAD package, something like that. So you actually get an OBJ file, floor plan, ceiling plan, and color point cloud, which is all useful for architects and construction professionals. So again, as previously mentioned, a significant number of different media output from simply scanning your environment here. So let's continue having a look around. One thing that's interesting to note as we look around here are these dots, and these are matter tags. Now again, we're going to go back into edit mode. What these matter tags are, we can add a matter tag, but it shows all of the different matter tags I've added, and they're just little points where we can add information. So this is the supplier zone. Here you can learn a little more about some of the suppliers. Basically, these are dots that you can click on and will give you more information, or you can embed video from YouTube and a huge amount of different media, social media. So it can be audio, video, text, graphs, even from Google Docs, things like that. And you can just add them to these matter tags, which is very, very powerful for the level of interactivity that you may want within your models. So we close down the matter tags. We go back into our preview. We can really see one of the key selling points of the Matterport technology and system is the dollhouse view. And this never fails to impress. So using the infrared scanner on the Matterport Pro 2 camera, you're able to get a very accurate, within 1% view of the visitor's center, automatically generated. I didn't have to put this together. It was created by the system. There are techniques you have to learn, but they're fairly simple in terms of planning your walkthrough, so planning the direction and the locations of the scans just to make sure you're optimizing your scan locations for the system. But other than that, again, this is another piece of very interesting and marketable media that's being automatically generated for you, saving you time and energy. And just as a matter of interest, let's have a look at another walkthrough that I produced. And the interesting thing about this, it shows the sheer scale of what you can actually capture. This is Blue Planet Aquarium, which is near Chester again. And what's interesting about this is the scale, the size, and actually the amount of time it took to get this capture. If we have a look at the restaurant area, so again, bear in mind that these are very, very smooth transitions that you're viewing, but it may not be that smooth across the web on this webinar. So I'm just having a look around the cafe area. If I then go to the dollhouse view, I can rotate the entire model round, and you can see, let's just have a look, you can see the gift shop here. And what Blue Planet have actually used this for is to show other locations, other attractions that the company owns, how they've set up their shop. They've actually used this in a variety of ways. So it helps people visiting the center, visiting the aquarium. If we just have a look, you can actually see the shark tunnel here. If we go, we can visit the shark tunnel here, and you can see the sharks. So it's very easy to leap around and go to the different parts of the walkthrough as well. Let's go back to the dollhouse view. The Matterport Pro 2 has done a very, very good job, as I said, within 1% accuracy of scanning the entire place. Now, this took 2 days. It's a very, very significant undertaking. But at the end, the reward that you get is this very appealing dollhouse view and the ability to jump in any location. With a walkthrough, the experience of being a part of that walkthrough provides the initial attraction. It gets you engaged. But the quality of what Matterport is offering really delivers the detailed visual information to support this. So there's a solid product behind that initial wow factor. The market is relatively new, though there is significant uptake. Traditional photographers should remain ahead of the game where they can, and the skills they can offer combined with the effectiveness of 3D technology does provide the perfect partnership for developing and expanding your business. As you can see on the webinar interface, you can actually ask questions now, and so the Matterport team are available to answer some of the questions you might have. I've only really very briefly touched on the showcase capability in terms of photographs, the automatically generated videos, the automatically generated floor plan, and the Matter Pack. But what I hope has come across is that these items are saving a significant amount of time, yet providing a wide variety of things that you can sell to your current clients or potential new clients. And it does open up the opportunity to get new clients because of what you can now offer if you purchase the subscription and a Matterport Pro 2 camera. So that's it from me for the moment. My name's Peter Simcoe, and if you want to find out more about the sort of work that I do, you can see my website at www.simcoe.co.uk, where you can also find out more information about the book I'm writing on Matterport technology. What I'd like to do now is hand you over to Jens Herbrick, who will describe in more detail one of his own projects. And over to you, Jens.